The Falcon.
Falcon, Winter Soldier, about Captain America, about the Shield. It was fantastic. This show is great, beginning to end. This is what I wanted coming out of Marvel Studios when it comes to the streaming services. And that first episode was good. The second episode was fantastic. Um, Begins with John Walker. This man has an extremely punchable face, but they try to make us ease into him and make us try to like him. He's got a friend, and he's got like this woman who I don't know what her role was, but during this beginning, they were both given their little pep talks. They are in the pep talks explaining to me and you how we should dislike him because he's the second Captain America. I'm never gonna call him that. I'm gonna call him John Walker. But every reason they provided is actually why you can't fill in those shoes, and I'll never accept it. And why Bruce Wayne is Batman, and why Clark Kent is Superman, and why Peter Parker is Spider-Man. They're not mentals. It's the same person when I think of them. And every time a comic book changes a Captain America, it reverts to Steve Rogers, the very next writer. So that's that. They're having an interview on Good Morning America at night, which I noticed from Perry Comics. It's at night. It's called Good Morning America. What's up with that? I don't watch that show, but is that something they do often where they film something the night before? He says who he is. We see a little flash montage. Actually, she says who he is for the audience. A montage of him training with the shield. Time must have passed from when Sam gave that shield. I didn't say return that shield for a reason because it is not government property or military property, which they never call stuff military tech. They call it government tech because you can't make the military look bad, right? The shield belonged to Howard Stark. Howard Stark is the one who gave it to Steve, and he had it, and he's like, why isn't this, regulated for the whole troops? And Howard had to say because that's the only one. I don't know how he got that vibranium shield, but whatever. I know how Bucky got the vibranium arm. It's from Wakanda. That was officially confirmed here that Bucky got his vibranium arm. That's what it's made out of. So a time skip must have happened from episode 1 to episode 2 when Bucky meets Sam because Bucky's watching it on TV in the morning. It was met with bad chemistry, bad acting. Not like bad chemistry because they're good and they're supposed to make it seem like Bucky and Sam don't get along. I mean, Sebastian Stan and Anthony Mackie were filmed in different rooms speaking these lines. It was horrible. But there's a big three: androids, aliens, and wizards. It's always one. I laughed at that every time it came up. Now, Bucky's gonna join Sam on the mission. They don't talk much, and after Sam jumps, Bucky says, I'ma jump too, with this. And vibranium absorbs impact when the plot desires it to. Boom, 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 he falls. And Red Wing was recording that. Smile, you're on Red Wing camera. Red Wing was really cool here and in episode 1, and I had an emotional attachment, and that's my fault. Because the villains here, as Red Wing can like see with its little X-ray vision, there was one person in one of those trucks cuddled up acting like a hostage. If your villains are that smart, then what gave it away? They're not that smart. It's because when Sam and Bucky were trying to sneak up on them, all sneaky, like the what is it? The White Panther, aka the White Wolf. Third time they mentioned that, okay? White Wolf was mentioned, I think, at the end of the Black Panther movie. In Infinity War, when T'Challa, who should be recasted, when T'Challa opened up that arm and he goes, the White Wolf was ready for war again. He said that to Okoye. And the third time, now, Bucky accepting the identity of White Wolf. Now, of course, that doesn't mean that everything that happened in White Wolf and Marvel 616 is the same thing. He's not Hunter. It just means that they're using the name and repurposing it. Same way they repurposed Joaquin Torres, who's supposed to get the little red wing thing put inside his body where he becomes sort of a half man, half Falcon. I don't think that's happening anymore. I don't think that was ever in the cards. So they repurpose things. Now they sneak up and they make a commotion, and the villains look over and they get back to work. I think that's when they knew he was there, and that's why they said, let's have a hostage. Make it look like we have a hostage. So they set them up. There's a big fight. Damn, those guys needed backup. And backup arrived. John Walker and Battlestar show up. Battlestar is gonna die. Okay? I'm calling it now. Episode 4, he dies. Episode 5, John Walker's really mad. Episode 6, John Walker's the main villain. Punchable face. And everything he says, he always ends it with something that makes you go, you almost had me. And then you have to go and continue that sentence. After the fight, which they lose, and we lose Red Wing, slammed it on his knee. It's crushed, and it's on the streets, and they drive past it, and I don't think there's any retrieving it. It didn't look like the John Walker guys picked it up when they were driving up. They drive up. Sam and Bucky are walking. Stop their car. Sam and Bucky are still walking. See, Bucky is from Brooklyn. No, it's because they're both Avengers. And while none of them have telepathic powers, they know what each other are thinking. And these are the Walmart Captain America and Walmart Bucky. Not happening. We didn't ask for your assistance. We don't even like who you are, like what's happened with the shield. And Walker knows it. But never in his, I guess, speech to Sam and Bucky when they actually do get to talking does he acknowledge. He partially acknowledges, but doesn't acknowledge what the issue is. Which is like what happens when you don't want to make things right. That's how you know a bullshit apology from a real apology. When the person actually fully acknowledges what the issue is and then says, but I'm just trying to be the best me possible. Even though you don't have super soldier serum, but I'm just trying to be the best me. You know how he doesn't have super soldier serum? I can see a plot where it's available for him to retrieve a super serum and he goes, yeah, now I'll be just like Steve Rogers. I can see that happening. Battlestar is the only guy Sam was talking to at first, and I thought that was hilarious. In the talking, when it looked like John Walker was coming around, he goes, it's good to have, for Captain America to have his Falcon. He should have reworded it. Like, it would be nice to have unity between Captain America and Sam Wilson. Maybe Sam would have received those words better. It's all about the delivery, bro. So, because of this, there isn't a super soldier, all 8 of them, plus those 5 that we saw. Remember Misha Tate in Civil War? Bucky goes, yeah, something I gotta tell you. We're going to Baltimore. They go to Baltimore. There's a kid, hey, you're Black Falcon, which is the most politically incorrect yet authentic thing that could be said. And it's followed up by Sam Wilson roasting him and looking over to the friend and saying, I got him, didn't I? You see, he did not go, there, pal. My name is actually Falcon. Ha ha ha. Make up and go. No, he didn't get that treatment. Pull up on the door. Eli Bradley answers. Oh, you're a character. But just like they repurposed Joaquin Torres, they didn't give Eli too much screen time. Maybe he's not going to be... maybe, who knows? I don't even know who the actor is. But that's Eli Bradley. And then comes Isaiah Bradley. He says, I knew you from the Korean War in the bar in Goyang. I had to Google when the Korean War was. 1950 to 1953. I'm not up on my American wars. Isaiah met him in 51. Whooped his ass. Took half the arm out. I just wanted to see if your arm was back. But do you know what happened to me? After that, I was jailed for 30 years and experimented on. And Sam didn't like hearing that. Also, your people weren't finished with me. That would be Hydra. He threw something at the wall, which means that this man still has that super strength even though he's 90, however old he is. Which means that Chris Evans is going to be back in the MCU. He'll just be acting with that prosthetic stuff on him. So Avengers 5, Avengers 6, look out for it. Bucky just wanted to tell him, no, I'm better now. You think you get to change who you are? Maybe it works like that for folks like you. And folks like you means white people. After they're done talking to Isaiah, who's mad and is pissed off and kicks them out, they're stopped by police officers. 2 white cops. The way that they said to Bucky, Is this man hurting you? Is everything all right? Hey, ID. I don't have any idea. Bucky says just show him ID. I can see why Bucky would say that. And I can see why Sam would not want to participate in his own oppression. Authentic. And then it turns out that Bucky has a warrant for his arrest. Oh man. You know what? That scene was moved the plot forward, obviously, because Bucky had to get arrested to get into the shrink scene, to get into the team chemistry stuff. But that scene was what makes, not just that scene, everything in here was a black writer made this. Malcolm Spellman. Good job. So in the therapy session, Sam was invited. They get really close to each other. They have a staring contest. The shrink says, "Yeah, this shrink is awesome. She's a horrible shrink, but she's like an awesome character for this show." And she worked in the military, and she does have a background with John Walker, which that wasn't just a little throwaway line in episode 1. Who's writing this stuff? Why is every plot thread like being tied up and everything is for a purpose? This is great. Bucky says, if Steve was wrong about you, then that means he was wrong about me. I can see why a character would think that, even though I disagree with it. But like, that's the point. And I could see Sam saying, you wouldn't what did Sam say? You wouldn't understand, like, when you think you're doing the right thing. I could see Bucky's perspective. But then they'll never see each other again after this, which we know they're going to make up. I don't care. I want a new season of Bucky and Sam. Give me Falcon and the Winter Soldier 2. Maybe give him another Falcon and War Machine. I'll take that. I'll take Falcon and anything next year. Guys, get into production now. It's okay. Hey, Kevin, green light it. It's good. Chillmonger says green light. I'm on Disney Plus, so he knows. 5648. The reason that Bucky, even though he was pardoned, the reason why he is out of this session and not going to be jailed is John Walker. He's going to pull the strings. And it seems like a good thing, right? But it's always the last thing. It's always the last thing that he says. He goes, he says, where's the words? He's too valuable as an asset to have tied up. You just see Bucky as property, don't you? You just, guys, you just see these people as their mantles. Because when you don't get what you want, if the problem is that the villains are villaining, then you're going to use Bucky and Sam as assets, right? Which is what you said. But that's not even true. Because when it's explained, Sam and Bucky say, we work and operate outside of the law and stuff like that. We're free agents. That's when the villain says, okay, then stay the hell out of my way. Well, I thought he was an asset. You were just explaining why you needed him. No, you needed him to be on your team. That's what you wanted, John. But when it wasn't working exactly the way you wanted it to work, then stay out of my way. Boo-hoo. Battlestar was there when you said that shit, and he heard that. Wake up. Actually, he's not going to wake up. He's going to die stupidly believing in John Walkerisms. F that guy. In order to find out what happened, as Isaiah said, your people worked on me. That would be Hydra. Zemo knows every single secret of Hydra. They're going to have to visit Zemo. Zemo had his own theme music when it started. And damn, when that episode ended. Very satisfying because it was a good length of amount of time. But it left me wanting more with a little bit of a cliffhanger. This show, you cannot F with it. How you guys feel about it? Thumbs up the video on your way out. Leave a comment. Chillmonger out. Oh, no. Chillmonger's still in. Check out the 33 burning questions video that I did. That's an entertaining video. Watch all of it. Bye.